get in life. Jeez. Sorry about that, people. I gotta fight this stand every freaking day. I fight with this stand. Alright, people, first things first. My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. We're working on the Chrissy today because the other projector is packed up because I have to use it for someplace else. Yeah. I'm going to be setting up right now, and as we're setting up, we'll be talking about this Fernando guy. I mean, I told you from the door, I'm in forum sites, we're talking about this guy. And I told you before, this guy is a major rip-off artist, professional rip-off artist. That's the only thing I can say the professional at, is ripping his customers off. We told you this for years. Right now I'm talking to an attorney about this whole thing, about what he did. This went on for years. This is why it's considered to be now a bigger criminal case, because who knows how many people he ripped off. A lot of people. He literally refused his own product. It's his product. It was made exactly like the video where he was giving away products for free. And this is why I told you, this is the reason why the black and white paint challenge came up, was because I said that I bet you $100 looking at and testing his stuff and having it over here. That stuff was nothing more than just black and white paint. That's all it was. It was nothing special about it. Went on there with a high-powered projector. He darkened his environments. He used manipulated software. And he went in and lied to the consumers on YouTube and anyone else, saying that his stuff was something special, something different than what everybody else had. That everybody else's products were frauds and rip-offs, and his product was the only one out there doing it correctly. I literally have all those recordings of you making that statement for court. Constant repeating lie, 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 lie on camera. So you got a nerve to call somebody else a liar over a hamburger. We can prove that you're a liar by sending you back your own stuff and showing you that you can't do the test. Now, what was supposed to happen in those tests, he's supposed to take the paint that we used off his site, his tutorial, making the product, and he was supposed to put it against his previous products and the product that he was selling next to that paint. This is the reason why he received official ban from eBay, because I told eBay, we explained to him that he can't back this stuff up. This is basically a rip-off product, and he got banned off of eBay. So, with that being said, things catch up to you when you do dirty stuff to people. It has the same reaction as everyday black and white paint mixture. It washes out dramatically, it doesn't pick up contrast, it doesn't recolor, it has all those problems from the door. The same thing as black and white paint. That's the first thing we did when we did unboxings on this product. We made a basic black and white paint. We made 1 scoop, 2 scoops, and 3 scoops and 4. And we did the test against that, and it matched perfectly. We did network grade 773, it matched against that. It matched against the microblend slip silver, it matched against the Bear silver screen, it matched against the apple barrel, it matched against all of that. Even bullseye primer, it picked up on that too. So I'm thinking that this stuff is nothing more than just black and white paint. So what better way to out someone on black and white paint, which again is to send it right directly back to them. And that's what we did. We sent its own product back to him. You can't say that we made it ourselves. We used his tutorial video that he had, that he was broadcasted all over YouTube on how to make his product for free, and we sent that right back to him. What did we get on the post office confirmation? Refusal. Refusal. Mind you, the way this thing is set up, it's a $30 ship out on this product. You know why? Because we put a special signature confirmed. They're called restrictions. A restriction means that the only person that's authorization to be able to refuse or sign that package has to be the person's name who was on the package itself, which we can back up in court. He was the refusal. That's why we made it up that way. So I told you from the door he couldn't do this. I told you his products were fake. I told you he was going in and making black and white products, and he was adding either 1 or 2 scoops of paint, and then come out and say, oh, it's a whole new different paint, it's my personal mix, it's my Metallica mix, it's my hybrid mix, it's a completely different mix than all the other mixes. It's a lie. All lie, lie, lie. So this is a big, big concern, because now this is on a scale of consumer fraud. Very serious crimes, Mr. Fernando, that you know darn well that you lied on camera, you manipulated and robbed your customers, made them believe something that your product wasn't. And then you went on there and you basically attacked our company, try to make our company seem like the bad guy in the whole entire thing so you can get people to turn on us. Don't trust him. His products are a scam. His products are a ripoff. It says in the Bible, whatever's in the dark will come out into the light. Mr. Fernando, you're out in the light. Unfortunately, you'll be out in the light in a courtroom. Justice of the peace, that's where you're going. And jail. You're definitely going to jail. So I can tell you 100%, you're definitely going to jail for numerous accounts of fraud. They will be going through your PayPal accounts to see exactly how much of this stuff you sold down through time to customers. Can't get any more spot on. Hey, you're not going to be out here, buddy, because I know what you do on camera. Automatically do it. Go back in, because you know what you do. You know what you do. You like to do weird stuff on camera. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Because we're not having that today. I got too much to do for you to be acting up. Come on, back in. Back in here. Come on. Yeah. You know what you do on camera.
Doing that nonsense. Gotta be slick.
I forgot to put his zip up his door. And no sooner he's out here about to do his little business. Anyway, so as I said before, yeah, rip-off artist got caught, got busted out in the open. Got it posted to the forum sites. It's going on the blacklist today, so we can get it out there to more people. And and Fernando, if you want to be angry about this, who are you angry and bitter about? It's your product. If you get on your YouTube channel, you rant and carry out yourself already from the door. It's your product. You can't sit there and say it was made differently. No, we recorded and documented the whole entire thing. It is your product. How in the world would someone even mess up 2 tablespoons of black paint into white paint? That's virtually impossible to mess that up. So we went and got the scoopers that are the same ones you have. Well, not probably the same one you have, but similar the same way. Same scoopers, same thing. They're going to say we have a different form of, to put too much paint in it? No. Measuring spoons. We use measuring spoons. Exact same amount. There are so many people right now upset about this mess. They're already upset about this guy already. But he refused his own product. That's even worse. See, that's why I told you that you got to be careful how you treat people. You sat there and said I was a liar, right? About a hamburger, right? We proved you even bigger to be an even bigger liar against your own product. You can't back it in any way whatsoever. You're going to have to do this in the court of law. You know, right? In a courtroom, you will do this demonstration whether you like it or not. You're going to do it. There will be no refusal in there. You will do it. We request, judge is going to order you to do it. You will do it. And all that nonsense about our products coming up too dark, you will paint my screen in that courtroom, and I want it to look exactly like it does in your videos. See? That's what lies do. They catch up to you. His lies caught up to him. Doing too much. I feel sorry for all those customers who bought that product. They got nothing more than just everyday, basic house paint. Something that he or she could have made themselves. It's bad enough that stuff, you're on there and you're trying to sell or try to promote that Cinemax, knowing darn well that stuff matched that product. That's another case you got coming up on how you basically sold a product knowing darn well it matched the house paint. So you'll be in court for that too. This is going to go all the way up until probably about the end of the year. We're going to be in and out of court with this guy. There's a lot of stuff he's done. But again, like I said, 100% scam artists. That plugged in over here. I got to get myself set up. I am going to be taking the big boy projector out pretty soon. Not pretty soon now, but I got some stuff to do. But I do want it outside. I want to test it out. Once we get, because right now the only area we have, we got a few areas we can test at right now. A few areas we can test at. But because all the outlets now in town aren't working, that's why that buddy system is going to come in handy, because the buddy system will allow us to go anywhere we want to go and record, and that's why I'm happy about getting the buddy system in. And then I found me another case I can carry my stuff in. Also, too, I don't want to talk about it here, but we got a new panel surface coming out pretty soon. soon. We got a panel service coming out. I'm going to be testing it pretty soon to show it off. I'm going to be having it on site too. I'm taking it outside. Play around with it. We got one coming out. Another one. Sorry, it's a transfer. This is another one. These will come out in 2026. These will be available this year. They're not like this, but it's another panel system. And I do plan to have it out in the park and play around with it. So we'll be showing those off pretty soon. I got to call them up and ask them about what I want to ask them about so I can get that taken care of. That does have to be done. Get that finished. That's completed. Let me see what else we got. Get that box out of here to the trash. Should I do not get that done? Everything's finished. Now, Fernando, in the back of your mind, you think that we hate you. No, we don't hate you. You're a liar, man. You're definitely a 100% liar. You are what you are. That's nothing to do with any hatred or whatever. No, you are a liar. Whatever you have done to us will be handled in court. We'll take care of that in court. Oh, that right there is the Cinemax. I'm sorry, cinematic. That's the cinematic right there. I figured it'd be nicer with demonstration with just one of the tiles that we painted with our black screen paint. You know, the one that pulls from outside at 300 lumens? That technology. And no point putting the lights on at the bottom because they're too far down, so, you know, we use that for the other screen. Actual screen paint that actually works. That's been tested. This is why I explain over and over again why products have to be tested. Can't express that enough. Why products need to be tested. You don't test your stuff, you're going to run into all kinds of problems. He couldn't do a ship back. You know he couldn't do a ship back? You know that'd be virtually impossible. Because someone would have to take the paint and ship it back to him. That's what ship backs are. He literally stole one of our policies and had that in his policy that he did ship backs. You can't do a ship back. Because how would you know how to test something that you never tested? That's like somebody out of nowhere giving you a test on advanced calculus. You're like, what the freak? I never studied this. I don't know anything about advanced calculus. How am I supposed to pass? There you go. So how do you troubleshoot your own stuff if you don't never tested it to begin with? That's why nobody can ship him anything back. That's why he has in his policy is no ship back on his stuff. Once that stuff goes out, you're stuck with that stuff. Sister says in the policy. And for those of you who feel that, hey, maybe I can get around it. No, it's a policy he put into the website. He could fight this in court and win because you read it. He could say, hey, they were perfectly on board. They understood exactly what I was selling to them. He could win that case and you could lose. He can even probably hit you with a counter lawsuit on that and get you. On account of, but they wasted my time. I had things to do. I didn't, you know, I had to go through this and the mental stress. He can get you good. Yeah, he could have sued a bunch of y'all easily. But the reason why he can't sue you, because we all know why. He's not documented. I mean, you would have to go and file a paperwork. I got to show ID every single time I go and file one of these court papers out, whatever. That's why he can't do it. Am I getting a lawyer? And that's not going to work. Even if he got a lawyer at the end of the day. Say he got a lawyer, okay? You still got to get in the courtroom with the lawyer. And they will let you in any government building without state ID. Not regular ID, state ID. I literally had that conversation with an FBI agent I was having a conversation with. And I said, well, I got to go in there because I'm telling some of the documents and problems having these guys. He said, well, okay, no problem. Just come by, make an appointment, come by, make an appointment, then come by, make sure you got state ID. We all know that one. So even if he were to get an attorney, you still can't get in the building. But anyway, yeah, that stuff was just, it is what it is, man. The guy's been ripping people off for years and years and years and getting away with it. Now that's going to change now. Here, that's over, Mr. Fernando. What we got right there, documented right now for the courts, showing that you refused an item that is your item. You can't say, hey, we mixed anything to it. I did a live YouTube stream. Everybody saw it. I did exactly the same way it is in your video. We even sent you a version that is an actual real version of your product because it has silver mica in it, which means it'll do something better than all the products that you have over there. That's another reason why you refused it. The mica was in one of them, and that mica would have produced a much better image than the other products he had over there because the other products were just basic black and white paint and none of them carried mica. Told you. Refuse it. Set up in dark environments, ripping off his customers. Shame. He did it for years. But that's what makes it such a serious case, because he's been doing it for years. What makes it so serious now. This becomes a federal crime now. See, Jamie's plan was to go in, rip off a bunch of people in the first beginning, take their products, stab them in the back, make money off their product, come off as this guy who's trying to do better for the community and give out free paints. Shame anybody else is trying to make money off their product. Then turn around and make money off the product. Rip people off on old paints, use high-powered projectors to manipulate images, and then turn around and attack other companies, other businesses, take them into his apartment, make them look bad. That's what we have on you. It's going to carry a very serious prison sentence. You got enough problems right now. Those copyrights are brutal. That's the worst of the worst that's going to happen to him. But he's got so much stuff on top of him. I told you from the door, this man is going to spend the remaining of his time on this earth in a prison system. He's not going anywhere. Now, I got to take all this information, everything that's documented, and I got to put it in that control order. Anything that goes in the control order, that docket that we have on you, the minute I go down to the police department, we file fraud. I filed a sexual harassment suit against him because he's taken pictures of me multiple times. He's taken pictures inside of the apartments. He's been stalking us, and he's got half-naked pictures of me on his page. So we filed sexual harassment lawsuit and criminal charges against him. You're a weirdo, man. You're such a freaking weirdo, and such a huge freaking liar. Did that with that company called, I can't think of the name, it's Luxia, whatever it's called, but they have a good product. I tested it myself. It's not to our standard because we make black technology, but the product works perfectly fine. It's better than a gray screen, I'll tell you that much from the door. He went there and made that product look dark and dirty. The YouTuber did demonstrations on that product for that company, because he did like the product very much, and he went in on Crow. Called him a dirty, rotten, crow, and whatever he is what he is, you know what I mean? He does that. He takes people's products and he makes them look bad. Well, your time's caught up with you, Fernando. All the dirty stuff you have done to other people, I'm pretty sure he's done way worse than that off of YouTube from what we know. Even his own family. He's using his own family's address to commit crimes. Committing fraud and using one of his family members' addresses. That's where we got 317 currency from, because it kept popping up. When he was saying we're buying paints from him, that was the address he was using when he was committing crimes. Gee, we'll stab your family in the back, stab your wife in the back, and stab your kids in the back too. Because your son, hopefully he doesn't have the same name you do. Because if he does, he's going to have to put Junior on everything, because of the lawsuits are going to be hitting you at the end of the day. He could be reliable. He can be hit with that. If he makes a mistake and puts down the full name without the Junior, he can be hit with that mess. And then by the time they get around to cleaning that mess up, it'll be years. It'll damage him pretty bad. So if I was to him, put Junior on everything. Your dad can explain to you why he's being sued multiple times by multiple people. Let me see. Let me go over to, we got Samsung. These are Samsungs. Don't give me that. You do weird stuff on camera. That's why you're in there. Nobody wants to see that. He comes out. He just does weird stuff. He's doing weird things on camera now. I ain't got a nerve to sit up there and do some nonsense against our new technology. You can make my product. You can't even tell. You can't even test your own product at the end of the day. How in the world you gonna call yourself making my product at the end of the day? First of all, you can't make black paint. We've been down that road already before. We gave you permission. Second, if you can't test your own stuff, how the frick are you making my stuff at the end of the day? See, that's why I tell you today, messing with God's blessings. That's my blessing from my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You got out it, didn't you? Yes, you did. You got pulled right out there in the light, exposed. You're gonna call yourself an expert on camera in the business? You can't even, you refuse your own product. That is pretty messed up. At least thought he would sign it and sit on it for a bit. But nope, he refused his own product. Oh yeah, by the way, all those pictures that you took, videos inside of the office we have here, darkening our pictures, you're being sued for each one of those, and we're going to charge you each one of those. That's why I said this guy's going to be 300 years in jail. He's going to be up there. It's bad. It's really, really bad. He's going to go to court for all that. I got to go back down to the police station again today, and I got to basically file more stuff against him to put on that docket, to update the docket. Docket, Fernando, is sitting in immigration and that in their folder, in that paperwork that I filed. That's why we put the docket in there, because we can go in and upgrade at will as we want to. So I'm going to put some more stuff that you did, scan everything over, as we've always done. Keep in mind, every single complaint we filed against this guy, there is a scanned document of proof of evidence matching every single complaint. You know I'm thorough about my work. Thorough about what I do. So when you go to court, the judge will see the complaint we have against you and the evidence right there. This is how your product's supposed to work. On a $60 projector, 720p unit. I watched it when my buddy took his dog to the vet. 720p unit. Come on, you were using special enhancements, whatever. Buddy, you do that all day long. Dark environments, high power projectors, high power contrast, tons of colors, 4K applications, all that stuff. Lighting behind the back of the screen. That's my personal ones I find that are funny about companies who do that. No, you're not even a company anymore. Anyway, other companies who do that, they put the lighting behind the back of the screen. Why is the lighting behind the back of the screen? I'm here with 24,000 over top of my head. And here's some dark environment, trying to open up some door, there's a little bit of light that won't even make it to the screen, because you can look at the ceiling and tell the light's not transferring over. Don't you got a sofa right there in the way? Yeah, I thought so. What do you think's gonna hit the sofa? Any light at the bottom here to smack the sofa. I remember one time he did this demonstration. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. He called himself putting this brick tile behind the back where the screen was supposed to be at. So in the demonstration, he didn't hang this piece up. He had it hanging, he had it by the side of the sofa. And he said, look, I got my windows open. The windows were open to enough where they would have struck the back of that piece of wood in the sofa. They would have never made it to the screen. You know how we know this, Fernando? Because we're staring directly at your entertainment system. If that window was open and that sofa wasn't there, that whole area would have been illuminated, but it wasn't. It was still dark. What do you think? People are stupid? You think we're born yesterday? Well, apparently, I hate to say it, but the people bought the product, they kind of say that about you. So, you know, that's why nobody likes to show off his product at the end of the day, because they want to be declared as stupid. Yeah. I don't see yourself in form sites or nothing. No one comes in there with that stuff. Now imagine if you just bought that Metallica mix, which doesn't even have Metallica in it, by the way, and you just bought that and that just happened. What would you do at the end of the day? Those of you probably have that stuff sitting up in your homes right now, or businesses. How's that working out for you? What about the Cinemax that match the house paint on camera? On live. Yeah, so that's why he hasn't had any customer reviews on his product since then, because people saw those demonstrations. I wouldn't either. Heck no. There's some testing, and then you saw the a Frankenstein mix. You saw that video, full video we showed you. In that video, he claimed that to be his final test. So that ugly, washed out, gray, tannish looking screen was a final product. And that little bit of window light is what took that screen out. I had a 126-inch screen that sat in a bay of windows, and my projector sat back 18 feet from my screen. And I was able to pull up with no problem whatsoever. At that 250-inch, 180-inch, dual 150-inch, 135 inches, and multiple other screens that I've had outside. And you consider that a comparison demonstration to what we do? You can't even get an ultra short throw at $3,300 to run in your dark apartment where I walked in and do a whole entire commercial property with a projector that cost me $134 and pulled up in every single environment on that property. You gotta be kidding. Oh well, he's out it. It's some more stuff. Now, I'm done. If I really wanted to basically grind your gears at the end of the day, I can make your Cinemax right now. And I can send it right to you, and I bet you refuse it. I can send your Frankenstein to you. I bet you refuse it. I can send every single one of your paints to you, and I bet you refuse it. And this is one I make off the top of my head. I bet you I can match your stuff. I bet you can make yourself better than you and send it to you, you won't do it. Reason why you don't tempt that with me, well, you couldn't give me black paint. Literally, we couldn't even get our black paint. We requested black paint. That's going to be shown to a judge, too. When it comes down to the case in federal court about how he used his company and his business and YouTube channel to basically slander our product. We did request black paint for him, right? I can't wait for the judge. I can't wait to hear it. Why didn't he send it? Notice the apple barrel. You cheated in the apple barrel. So I think I'm going to send it up next. That's the last thing I'm going to send up to an apple barrel. He cheated in that one. I didn't like that he popped the top on that thing and put black paint in it like that. So I'm going to send you some apple barrel next. Because you cheated in that demonstration. You know what you did, man. For those you don't know, he was to do a test against the apple barrel paint on Amazon. Clearly in the demonstration, you can see where he popped the top on it. And you can see black paint and black paint inside. Where he made it look dark and he cheated. I'm going to send you up some apple barrel paint next. Now, if you refuse that, again, you incriminate yourself even more. Why would you refuse something that you've already tested? Unless you cheated. So you're going to get some more stuff. And you can sit there and say, well, it's harassment. It's not harassment, Fernando. You went out and made accusations to your consumers. You ripped off your consumers and you made statements that weren't true. You did false demonstrations. You tagged that as harassment. We'll hit you with fraud. And then you'll have to go in court, which you can't go into a courtroom right now. You can't go to court at all, period. Anything you do will bring you into a courtroom. You make statements about throwing me in jail. Well, how are you going to do it? You can't go into a courtroom. You're undocumented. How would that even work? People that are undocumented don't go out and do the dumb stuff that you do. None of them do that. They don't do the dumb. You know why? Because it'll get them, and it'll expose them, and get them out in the limelight. Like I said, I got friends of mine. They're in the process of getting their, ooh, it's a big bear, getting their paperwork done. They're not out drag racing and getting in all kinds of trouble. No, they're keeping it low key. They're not doing any of that crazy stuff. They're staying out of trouble until they can get their documents and everything done, so they're legit. And even after they get that, they're still staying out of trouble. Because guess what? As a United States citizen, you still go to jail. There's nowhere in the Constitution that ever says that any American citizen can do whatever you want. If that's the case, it'd be total chaos. Somebody would ever want to go in the U.S. People in the U.S. wouldn't want to be in the U.S. That's why we have laws down here, rules and regulations for us to follow. Citizens or not, we have to follow those rules. Any citizen, any person coming down here that's not documented, they're not doing that dumb stuff. Are you crazy? We got people on probation down here who won't even do that stuff at the end of the day. I ain't getting involved with this guys and they ain't getting me locked up. I'm on probation as it is. I'm not even trying to go back to that nonsense again. I'm trying to stay out here as long as I can. There you go. I've heard that many times before. I've said it myself. So with that being said, no, that's just a you. All right, well, that's enough. You get the apple barrel's gonna be coming up. Give you time to get a little breather in. Get ready. It's coming. I'm gonna send 4 of them up to you. I think we need to send one. We're gonna send one up. That's what we need to send one. We'll send one up to you. We'll show the whole packaging and everything as we usually do. Show that nothing was tampered with, nothing was put into the box, so you don't do fake stuff. But don't worry about that. It'll probably never reach. It will reach him, but he'll refuse it and send it back. So we'll get another refusal on the apple barrel. Because you did do that one and you did lie in the demonstration. You didn't do, you lied in that one. So if you did it already, as you claimed you did, right? You should have no problem doing it again. Jamie, I'm sending you my paint. You refuse, this is going to be bad. We're going to send you the cinematic. I'm expecting my test to be done. You refuse this order coming through, you're going to get a lot of trouble. So we'll send a gift to you, 2 of them. You'll get the cinematic and you'll get the apple barrel. I expect both of them to be done. You claim you did the apple barrel, right? And you should have no problem doing that again. And you'll have the cinematic technology. I want to see that product come out as dark as you said it came out next to, like we have black paint test. It comes up unwatchable, can't even see. I'm going to see it come up like that. That stuff can blend into your gray screen. I got your product over here right now, the one you refuse to take. I can make as much of that as I want. Anyone can make as much as they want. So with that being said, we know what it's going to do to your product when it gets over there. If that product comes up looking darker than what it is, that's more evidence we have against you that you tampered with a product that we already sent to you with tracking numbers and everything attacked. Now, if he refuses it, again, why would you refuse something that you claim we did all this testing on, right? All right, I'll get you set up for everything. Apple barrel is coming up and the cinematic. You're going to have one. Just on Network Grace 773 because he lied. He already got busted in that one, but then try to come back out and lie about that all over again. But we get a refusal on our own paint and apple barrel. That's gonna be pretty bad. That's no, I know what's worse. Refusing your own stuff is pretty bad. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that. Get some apple barrel, and we'll pick up. We'll send them over our stuff. Just when he thought it couldn't get worse, it just did. It just got much worse. What are you going to do? You do another fake video and say you moved? We did that one already. We all witnessed that one already. That ain't going to work. We did that one already. Go and say you went on vacation? And you go to the same place every time. Everything in Disney. I think it's Disneyland over there. I think it's Disneyland. I'm definitely going to take this outside and play around with it. But I had my bag first. That's one way to get my bag. Get my bag and do everything in my bag and just go take off. Think I go for a walk outside. I would suggest when that apple barrel and our product gets there, I would strongly suggest don't refuse it. Mind you made all these accusations about our products. It's going to look pretty bad if you refuse it. And you think it's going to be one of those things where, well, nothing happened from it? No, Fernando, I told you from the door. I got documents on you, man. I'll add that to the documents. Everything will add it to the documents. And once that's completed, then I will be contacting the police district in your area with the document we already have, showing the tremendous amount of problems we've been having with you and the things and activity you've been doing from that little apartment. Also, too, with the control order, which has an upgrade of that document. Also, too, showing that you are basically attacking our companies. So let's get this, put through this process first, and then we'll go take care of that other process. When they get there, you won't hide in your apartment. When they knock on that door, you will not be hiding in your apartment. You will come out there and you will meet them face to face, as you should. Didn't you say something about me having a criminal charges on my background check is clean. So you made that statement, so guess what? See you in court for that one too. Sue you on that one too for making that false statement. Because my background check is clean. I got nothing on it. Yours, on the other hand, ain't going so well. All right. No more talking about this dumb nonsense until I get the paint and apple barrel ready to go. We shipped out to his address. Business address. And please don't sit there and say at the end of the day that my company doesn't exist, because it does exist. Your LLC says it exists because you're missing documents. So we all know how that one works already. Oh, when the package gets here, we'll do another video on that one too. Using his paint, what he was supposed to do in the demonstration, his refusals. We'll rename your product. Crow's Refusal Paints 2.0. That's pretty much what it is. Now for the customers who basically, who basically bought that product and just didn't know, your first timers, you're considered to be victims. Those people who knew darn well what this person was all about and bought that product anyway to go out and try to advertise for them, you're in a lot of trouble, so you know that. So your conspiracy charges, your accessory to the crime, which means if you knew this individual, number one, was out there doing all these schemy acts, and you were supporting these schemy acts 100% with him, you're charged too. It's like the same scenario of someone robbing a bank. You're the driver. Even though you didn't walk in, you didn't fire any rounds, you didn't go into the vault, you didn't do any of that, you're still accessory because you were with these individuals, you were in the car, you were the driver, you assisted. So that means, guess what? You can get you charged. And he's going to sing like a canary anyway. Good luck on all that. So bottom line, by him not accepting that product, he just threw you under the bus. You can't say, gentlemen, you don't know each other. We got you on Crowcast having such great conversations. You all know each other very, very well. All right, then. You're going to get charged with that nonsense. You all vouch for him. We got you in videos vouching for his product, saying that it worked 100%. How do you vouch for something that someone won't even basically take credit for to begin with because they refused it? That's almost as worse as a guy sitting there talking about that he would buy that product any day of the week because that product is so fantastic, and then the screen turned gray on them, and then they're sitting there stuttering trying to figure out how to get around this mess. Trying to explain to people that they're actually not seeing black, but they're seeing gray, but they're seeing gray and black. Whatever nonsense. It was something stupid he said. But anyway, gee whiz Louise. Okay, I got things to do. What do we got here for time? Oh, we got early time. Got here early for this one. Okay, cool. I get to do some shorts on my technology, my cinematic. I was laughing. He said he refuses stuff. Like he refused. They're on the phone sites having a ball with this stuff. How the freak is he making anybody else's stuff? How the freak is he supposed to be an expert in the field? He refused his own product. Show me the video. That's messed up. Why he's in there selling that stuff to a church? You forget that, right? He ripped off a church. That's why I told the guy, he sat there in the dark and said, it'll look better once we calibrate it. Wait, what? What are we counting? Really? The lights are. You know, all the lights on? You look at the fire exits are completely dark. You know the lights aren't on, man. The fire exits are dark. That guy was very disappointed. You can tell he's very. You see his body language. He was disappointed. Next time you're going to open your mouth and call somebody a liar, be very careful about that one. Next product coming up will be our screen paint and the apple barrel. I look forward to seeing you doing both. And keep in mind, the product will be batch number, which means you will test it here, make sure it's perfectly fine. You have a special batch number attached to it. We'll ship it right to you. So if anything comes up where you want an tamper with things whatsoever, yeah, Fernando, let me explain something to you so you can understand this. I know I've been saying these things for a while and you felt nothing's happened to you. I got things in place where pretty soon you're going to have some very interesting people coming to that front door. So, just so you know, it's coming, buddy. We're stacking up so much evidence on you. I'm going to make sure. The point is to sue you beyond belief, and the next stage is to make sure that you never see the light of day. That's the whole purpose of what we're about to do. That's why all this stuff is being sent to you, for you to back up. This is a chance for you to fight your claim in court. If you can't fight it here, you can't fight it there. That's what it's going to tell you a lawyer today. And if you feel in any way that you have evidence against me or whatever, get a lawyer to contact me. I've been waiting for that. I ask you guys over and over again. No one's reaching out with a lawyer. Unless you know you're guilty and you know there's no way in the world a lawyer is going to represent you because the evidence against you is just way too high. Your attorney, if you have one, the only thing they're going to do when they contact us is ask us, is there a way we can work around this without this going to court? Guess what my answer to that is? No, we cannot work around this. We are going to court. Whether you like it or not, you're going. That's what he's going to tell you. The best I can do is try to minimize the amount of charges you're going to be hit with. That's the best they can do for you. But you're going to get hit. That's all to it. You're going to do time. They're going to try to minimize it. Which means you're going to try to figure a way how to paint a picture of you being an outstanding citizen, and that's not going to go well. So, oh well. Where's my whatchamacallit on here? Let me get my... Till then, my Cinemax is going out on a much bigger screen. I'm going to take our $16.25 projector out there and have some fun. And then once my buddy system gets here, then I'm just going to go all over Allentown and show off the other new technology over there. Because we were already outside at 300 lumens, right? Oh, we were. We were outside at 300 lumens on the cinematic. We were. Yeah. Oh, but we haven't done the gray screen. We got to do that. We got to do the gray screen, and we have to do a white screen. I'm going to have to cut that surface in half. I'm going to do half of it white and half of it gray. I got any tape here? Don't I have rolls around here somewhere? I got to do that now. I'm going to do that half and half. We got plenty of the paint. We can make it as much as we want. He don't want it. He refused it. It's ours now. For testing. We'd never sell that stuff. Why would we sell it? It's free. Everybody can have it. Let me see. Got some white paint here. I'm going to do half of this in white. Because I need to do that demonstration on the side. I just want a gray screen out there. You know what? I'm going to do another surface. Do that in all white. And do another one all gray. That's what I'll do. Because quite frankly, out there, they don't care about no gray screen. No. It's all white screens they care about. That's it. But we're taking it out there for online. For the people online. You know, you guys care about gray screens. They don't care about gray screens out there. Everything screen out there is a white screen out there. They couldn't give her a rabbit's foot about a gray screen out there. When the fellow came in here to look at the screen, The first thing that came out of its mouth was, well, let me see the comparison next to a gray screen. No, it was no comparison next to a white screen. They don't care about no gray screens. Notice that background's supposed to stay black. Oh, thought about that too. How in the world is the parallax that we did supposed to be bogus? You can't even do your own product. There's so many open doors on this one. It's not even funny. Oh my goodness. That stuff we had in there would have matched all his stuff. It would have matched the cinema. It would have matched everything. Everything. And now I bet she's over there mad, angry, upset, bitter, screaming, yelling, whatever. Don't make a difference. You refuse your own stuff. Got no one to blame for that but you. You're gonna refuse my paint too. I'm gonna send up this product over here in the apple barrel, right to your front door. Better not refuse it. I'm gonna do the test, the batch number test, everything. I'm gonna do a special batch number for him. Only you, the only one's gonna have that batch number symbol. Don't make my product look bad at the end of the day. You got the wrong person. That's what I told you. The day you guys met me, you bet up way more than you could chew. This is how I deal with big companies at the end of the day. I use the same tactics I use on big companies I use on you. Any big company at the end of the day wants to talk some nonsense, we get the surface down here, we take it out, then we send them a sample of our technology, and go from there. So if the only difference is, at least they basically heed to the call. These guys will fall on deaf ears. Hey! Oh, man. That's his pit for everybody he took money from. He sat there and lied to him, knowing his product wasn't going to work, knowing that stuff was house paint when he was mixing it. Got on camera, made all those lies. Special enhancement colors, he said. Special enhancement contrast capability. Wow. Didn't even try to make an effort. Refused it right from the door. I bet you when that package came, I can see him right now. He probably didn't even come. Probably came like, no. He probably didn't even open up that door, no. And fear that maybe there might be a process server behind the post office, because they do that. They can come up right behind the post office and serve you. Their job is to get that notice to you any way possible. So if anybody come to your door with mail, it could be a good chance there could be a process server back there somewhere where they're going to run up on you and serve you. Then you got to worry about them coming to your job. You got to worry about them walking to churches. These guys are pretty relentless at the end of the day. They'll come get you. If you're going to go pick up your kids, they'll be out there waiting for you. Their job is to serve you and get you in that courtroom. And they're really good with it. We got a good agency. These people are really, really good. These guys say, we'll go anywhere and get it. They'll make a difference. He's going to get served. You're going to get served. We got another agency. I'm firing 4 of them, so that way he don't know which one's which is going to come get him. So they're going to be paranoid. They're not going to be leave that apartment. And like I said, the documents are being addressed for both of them, so we can serve anyone in the house. You can serve just that one. The first one was made just to serve him, but the new one we're doing, they're made to serve anyone in the house over the age of 18. So if she walks out, she can be served. She's not going to court. It's just he'll be going to court. He'll just transfer to him. That's all. Certain things you can refuse on a server when people are serving you. Like a witness to something, you don't have to go as a witness. I had a buddy of mine, something happened. He got into a bad situation. He was walking with the wrong person, and the other person had a warrant, not a warrant, but they put something on his head, like a bounty on his head. And he said we walking in broad daylight, and somebody just walked up, came up out of a car, walked up, pointed gun to his back of his friend's head, and blew his head off. We one of his friends, guy barely knew. He still killed him, right in front of him. And they got in the car and drove off. But he was extremely lucky, because usually they'll take you too. It probably would have if it wasn't out in the open area, and they did it out in the open area. Sometimes they do things in the open area to show that we can get to anytime we want to. It's a statement being made, but it happened right in front of him. His brain matter was literally on his clothes, so that's how close he was to this guy when he got shot. But anyway, since he was a witness who saw everything, he just said, "Look, I don't know what y'all talking about." Because that's the best way to do it in some ways, depending on where you live at. I don't know what you're talking about. And they were coming in and putting pressure on their family. They was coming into the door. Every day they would come in, and the officers would come there, and they tried to serve them for him to come in court and testify. Yep. Now they come to your door, and they try to get, you don't have to take that, and walk right past them. I put my hands up in there like, okay, walk right past. Okay, you ain't giving me a jack at the end of the day. Now, that's different. That's for you to testify. But if you committed a crime, that's a different story. I mean, they can hound the daylights out of you. They can go through all tactics. Those guys can't follow those people into a church. They can't follow them into their job. They can't do any of that stuff. Only that home is the only place they're allowed to go to, and that's it. That's all. And he got out kind of lucky on that. He got out blessed on that. Because the people who got that guy, they were pretty high up on the ladder of crime. So, again, like I said. But anyway, they were arguing. We were arguing with them when they came to the door. And people, at the time, the woman I was dating, they don't really know too much about the rights at the end of the day. They don't have to live in hostile neighborhoods. You're a hostile neighborhood, you can meet enough cops. You know rights at the end of the day. And I was like, man, y'all really ain't supposed to be here at the end of the day. Y'all can't come in and serve Jack at the end of the day. And so we can't do anything you want to do, but you ain't gonna do what you want to do. You can't walk across that threshold. You don't got no search warrant, nothing whatsoever. So you can't come in a court order, nothing. You just come here harassing them because you can probably get an easy witness at the end of the day. Like you gotta leave off the porch with all that dumb nonsense. So they were about to leave. Oh my goodness, I don't know why he did that. He came downstairs again, not street smart. Came downstairs and grabbed the piece of paper out of the guy's hand and leave us alone. Now you got to show up for court because you took it out of his hand. You done made these things even worse. And if these people have this kind of connection at the end of the day, you guys got a bounty on your head at the end of the day. A bounty, which means I would have a bounty also. If I got a bounty, that means my people now got to get involved in this nonsense. See the mess that triggered off from basically knowing to be street smart? Because my people aren't going to let anything happen to me. So now we got problems at the end of the day. We're going to have a war on our hands over some dumb nonsense at the end of the day. Being at the wrong place at the wrong time. This is how this mess all daisy chains together and turns into nightmares. So luckily, there was another guy on the other end that also was in between when the guy got shot. And he's the guy who actually knew him. He's the guy who actually set the whole thing up. And they were able to catch him. They caught him in Jersey somewhere. So they got him and they dropped the other one. See? And I'm sitting there talking to them like, you're not dumb, what you just did. All you had to do was just basically let them keep running their mouths. After a while, they get tired, they leave. That's it. They don't come back. Because you ain't like you did it. You're just a witness for it. You don't want to be a witness, then you can just have obtain harassment. You go to internal affairs and just file a report against it. Look, they're harassment. At the end of the day, I ain't got nothing to do with blah, blah. I don't know anything. They're just basically pressing on nonsense and harassing. Could have easily did that. No, he grabs the paperwork. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm dating this female. And their kids, of course, they're my family at the end of the day, so I got to protect them. So you know who's going to get involved in this nonsense. So I got to go back and I got to talk to my people and say, look, this is what I'm having a problem with. They're on so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll talk to them, see if we can resolve this dumb nonsense before it gets even worse. That's the kind of crazy stuff that popped off that fast, that quick. So thank goodness they caught the other one up in Jersey somewhere. So they caught some first girl problem. They come over there and they got him and he confessed. So, Meanwhile, I'm looking at these people at the end of the day like, you know what? It's like, honestly, in a forest of wolves, there are rabbits. There are people like that. There are people that are rabbits and there are people that are wolves. It's just not street smart. I don't know. It's a good thing you don't grow up in bad neighborhoods. It's fantastic you don't grow up in bad. And it's also a bad thing because, again, you're not street smart at the end of the day. You learn from school hard knocks growing up in areas like that. But yep, that's an interesting day. Real interesting day. Crazy, man. I had to have people out there. My people had to be out there in cars, sitting outside their house, going back and forth, making sure nothing was going to pop off. And that crazy, dumb stuff, man. And at that, he should have never been hanging around with that guy to begin with, because the guy was bad news 24/7. Like, why are you would you be hanging around with somebody like that who you know is known for doing dumb nonsense? You know, that's why you gotta be careful about the company you keep. You can be friends with somebody, God knows what kind of crazy stuff they get themselves to over the weekend, and you're walking with this guy. They're gonna take you as you being one of them. Yep, that's why I'm very careful with people I hang around with. And that's why background checks, people, are important. Must do background checks. All right, I'm done. I am going to have some fun with my screen. Boom. Really? Can I get that? You're fighting me on the whole back thing? I'm not even all the way up. Get back. Really? You gotta be kidding me. Oh boy, I don't care. Anyway, so I'm going to get out and have some fun with this. Just want to recap on that nonsense that went down yesterday. Below there's a link that you can click on that shows you everything that went on with the reviews and all that. I'm going to put another link at the bottom showing the paint that we made exactly to the video, packaged and sent it out. There's 3 of those links. The one shows the first one we're making it, and the other one shows us resetting the packages, because we had to put special labels on the bottom, so that way, you know, the post office knows there's a paint in there, not hazardous material, but paint in there. But they call it hazardous, but it's not. But you have to have those slips there anyway at the bottom. And the fragiles on the side, and we had to do all that over again. So, you know, we had to make sure we update the videos on that. That way you wouldn't think I'm putting anything in there that's not supposed to be in there. That's why Mr. Fernando is making any statements on the YouTube channel by saying that there's stuff in it, or it was hazardous or whatever. Again, more charges will be filed against you. Keep in mind, you got to understand the situation that you're in. The charges that were filed against you, if you feel at the end of the day that's not going to affect you, it is. That document behind me is going to make sure that when they come up to get you, you're going to stay put. And you're going to stay put until every single document that's actual, any charge that's in that document, you're going to be in front of a judge for. So this is going to take a bit. It's going to take a while, maybe a year or so, maybe a couple of years. But you're going to go through every single one of those charges, and you have to be prosecuted for each one of them. That's how it works up here. So this is going to take a while. It's not an overnight thing. This is going to be a couple of years you're going to be going through this. The difference is, I'm going to go home, and you will not be going home. So that's what's going to happen in that situation. I know I did it already. But anyway, that being said, hope you enjoyed. I got to go. I got business to take care of. And that's pretty much basically about it. I'm going to do a couple of shorts on my new cinematic. And then go from there. All right, got to go. God bless.